and find a way to work it out, to work together. And so as you look at your goals and dreams, here's some strategies that I can tell you will make a difference. Write this down. Dream big. I want you to dream big. How many of you have seen the movie called The Theory of Everything? Raise your hands, please. Nobody but one person. Go see that movie. Put it on your agenda. To go see that movie by Stephen Hawking. One of the things he says, this man who was and is a victim of a paralysis of his nervous system, can't speak. He said something that really grabbed me. He said, there should never ever be boundaries to human endeavor. He said, all people should have big dreams. And he said, and this is major, he said, all of us are different. And all of us have difficulties. And no matter how difficult your life might seem, he said, where there's hope, he said, where there's life, there's always hope. I hear somebody's completely paralyzed, can't talk. But he said, where there's life, there's hope. When I saw that, that is something that removed all excuses from me. Here's something else. I want you to write this down. Inside Man. And on public radio, Inside Man, January the 9th. Your birthday. Excellent. Dorothy's birthday. January 9th. I want you to go and find the story about Inside Man. Young boy found himself 13 years old. He became a prisoner in his own mind. Could not communicate. Became a prisoner in his own mind. Could not talk. And his family treated him like he wasn't there. That's why it's called Inside Man. Like he was invisible. And when you hear his story, it begins to make you put things in perspective. And what happens is that, unfortunately, many of us and many of the people that you talk to won't share your vision because unconsciously they are responding to the programming that they've been born into.
That's right.
That's why we're told, be ye not conformed to this world. Don't follow everybody else. Be ye transformed. You're involved in a process that's transforming your mind on a regular basis. So the people that you're talking to are operating out of a paradigm that does not serve them anymore. They're operating out of the domestic economy. Those people don't know that there's no such thing as job security. Those people don't know that they don't have to be a volunteer slave, showing up at a job that they hate, doing two and three jobs for one paycheck in an environment where there's no job security. How many of you know people like that? Raise your hands, please. Okay? So now, it can become discouraging if you're facing rejection day in and day out from people who don't share your vision. Listen, faith comes by hearing. Even if it's negative, you hear it often enough, if you allow it, it will get to you. How many of you have seen that happen to people? Raise your hands, please. Shake someone's hand on your right and left and say, hang on to your dream. Do that right now. Hang on to your dream.
Hang on to your dream, Della.
So you have to sell people on a regular basis to hold on to their dream, not to give up. Because the propensity is to give up. Because of mental conditioning. Winston tastes good like what? How many of you know that and don't smoke Winston? Raise your hands, please. That commercial has not been on radio or television in 40 years. So what else is in your mind? What other programming that you're operating on that you don't even realize? For instance, I don't walk under ladders. I said, well, I know I'm not superstitious, but just in case. I just don't, because I heard it was bad luck as a kid. How many of you know, we say we might be through with our past, but our past is not through with us. And so the majority of people that you're working with and recruiting are operating out of a poverty consciousness. and they don't even know. You're trying to liberate them. Harriet Tubman said, I freed 11,000 slaves, but I could have freed even more if I could have only convinced them that they were slaves. Wow. So there are people you're talking to that don't know that they are standing on a platform of quicksand. They don't know that what you're offering them is an opportunity to change their lives. Many of them in relationships where they're dying together rather than living together because they've not figured out a way to earn enough money to be independent and be their own person. And there you are standing in front of them, giving them an opportunity to free themselves. And they can't see it. How many of you have seen that? Raise your hands, please. Yes. And so as you look at your goals, write this down. Dream big. Remember I told you that? Dream big. Why is that important? Because you can do more than you can ever begin to imagine. If anybody told me, given my circumstances, given my beginning, born in an abandoned building on a floor, being adopted, being labeled educable, mentally retarded, put back from the 5th grade to the 4th grade, failing again in the 8th grade. If anybody told me last year I spoke in Singapore and Malaysia, I spoke in Johannesburg, South Africa, and Hong Kong, and Macau, and Canada, and Australia, and 17 international countries. If both my parents stood up right now, I would not know either one. I earned more in 1 hour than 90% of the American public working for 20 years would earn. And I had no idea. And I don't tell you that to impress you, but to impress upon you. I don't know you, but here's what I know about you. You have greatness within you. Here's what I know about you. You're part of a system that with the training, with the coaching, and if you stay the course, you'll discover a part of yourself that you don't know right now. Give yourselves a round of applause for showing up for your dream. Come on, you can do better than that. Come